welcome to News Tonight, your one stop for all the biggest news and events through the day. I am Tina Jha. First, the top stories of the day. Deficit rainfall in Maharashtra. Devendra Fadnavis' government declares 180 tehsils drought hit. Relief measures to include water supply through tankers, waiver of land revenue, electricity bills for agricultural consumption. No blanket ban on sale of firecrackers, says Supreme Court. Allows burning of crackers between 8 to 10 p.m. during Diwali. Prohibits online sale. Only low polluting green firecrackers within decibel and emission limits allowed. Delhi High Court stays arrest of CBI Special Director Rakesh Asthana. Orders status quo till next hearing on the 29th of October. Local court sends Deputy Superintendent of Police Devendra Kumar to 7 days CBI custody for questioning. On day-long visit to Srinagar, Home Minister Rajnath Singh reviews security situation in Kashmir along with Governor Satyapal Malik and top officials. Appeals to parties to take part in panchayat polls to strengthen democracy. And Supreme Court directs Rajasthan government to take steps to stop illegal mining in the Aravalis within 48 hours. Seeks report from Chief Secretary, says disappearing hills in the range responsible for pollution in Delhi. Hundred and 180 of the 350 tehsils in Maharashtra are facing a drought-like situation. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis said that these tehsils were identified on the basis of norms laid down by the centre. The situation arose since the state received only 77% of its average rainfall this year. Fadnavis said relief measures being undertaken by the state government include concession in land revenue, educational fees, continued power supply for agriculture pumps and deploying tankers for supplying drinking water in the tehsils. A central government team will soon visit the state and declare financial assistance to deal with the situation.
इस प्रकार की सारी जो अकाल की जो उपाय योजनाएं हैं उनको आज से हमने इन 180 तालुकों में लागू किया है। साथ ही में जो किसानों को मुआवजा दिया जाता है उसके लिए केंद्र की टीम को हम बुलाएंगे। हमने ग्राउंड ट्रूथिंग जो है वो किया हुआ है, उसके आधार पर हमारा अहवाल केंद्र को जाएगा और केंद्र की टीम आकर हमारे अहवाल का साक्ष्यांकन करेगी और उसके बाद वो मदद भी लोगों को मिलेगी। साथ में हम लोग जो प्रधानमंत्री कृषि बीमा योजना है उसकी मदद भी लोगों को मिलेगी।
Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh visited Jammu and Kashmir on Tuesday to review the security situation in the state. Addressing the media, Rajnath Singh said that the government is ready for talks with anyone, but terror and talks cannot go together. He also appealed to the political parties as well as the people to take part in the upcoming panchayat elections.
Home Minister Rajnath Singh held a high-level meeting in Srinagar on Tuesday to review the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir. He said the centre is ready to hold talks with anyone, including Pakistan, but terror and dialogue can never go together. However, he asserted that the security situation in the state has improved in the last 4 months, with the number of stone-pelting incidents and recruitment by terror groups having gone down.
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि जम्मू कश्मीर के हालात बेहतर बने हैं। इसके लिए हम लोग अपनी तय भरपूर कोशिश कर रहे हैं। किसी से बातचीत करने में कोई परहेज नहीं है, लेकिन शर्त ये होती है, उसके साथ शर्त हमारी ये है कि कम से कम वह तो देखें इस बात को कि भारत में टेररिज्म को भी पाकिस्तान स्पॉन्सर करे, टेररिज्म को प्रमोट करने की कोशिश करे, दोनों साथ चीज चले। कम से कम इतना तो आश्वासन दे दें कि पाकिस्तान की तरफ से ऐसी कोई कोशिश नहीं होगी। टेरर एंड डायलॉग बोथ कैन नेवर गो टुगेदर।
Meeting representatives of various political parties in Srinagar, Rajnath Singh also appealed to all of them to participate in the upcoming panchayat polls in the state. He appealed to the people as well to come out and vote in large numbers. Both PDP and the National Conference had boycotted the recent urban bodies elections in the state.
मैं यही निवेदन करना चाहूंगा कि जो लोग भी अपने को जम्मू और कश्मीर की आम आवाम का सही मायनों में रिप्रेजेंटेटिव मानते हैं, उनके द्वारा इन पंचायत चुनावों की खिलाफत नहीं की जानी चाहिए.
The Home Minister also expressed grief at the death of 6 civilians in an explosion at an unsanitized encounter site in Kulgam. Announcing compensation of 5 lakh rupees each to families of the deceased, Rajnath Singh appealed to the people to not venture into areas where security operations are underway.
जानकारी मिली कि ऑपरेशन समाप्त हो चुका था, सारी सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस जा चुके थे, लेकिन वहां पर लोग इकट्ठे हुए, कुछ वहां पर किन्हीं कारणों से कोई विस्फोट हुआ जिसमें कि कुछ लोगों की जानें गई. जानकारी प्राप्त होने पर हम लोगों को भी इससे बेहद तकलीफ हुई है.
Developmental projects in the state were also reviewed in the meeting. The Home Minister said that the centre has allocated 350 crore rupees for the beautification of Dal Lake, along with several schemes being run by the centre and the state government to provide employment to the youth of Jammu and Kashmir. He said the government has ordered a detailed project report or DPR on building roads in border areas like Kargil, Dras, Tangdhar and Gurez. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Supreme Court has refused to impose a nationwide blanket ban on the sale of firecrackers. In its verdict, the court only permitted the sale and manufacture of green firecrackers, which have low emission. In its order, the court banned the online sale of firecrackers and also put a stay on e-commerce portals from selling them. The bench has also fixed the time between 8 to 10 p.m. for bursting of firecrackers on Diwali and other festivals. On New Year and Christmas, the timing is from 11:45 p.m. to 12:15 a.m. The court has also directed all states to explore the feasibility of community cracker bursting during festivals. The top court's order came on a plea seeking a ban on manufacture and sale of firecrackers across the country to curb air pollution.
पहले ये जो टाइम था सिर्फ 10 बजे के बाद पटाखे नहीं चल सकते थे, लेकिन अब ये टाइम घटा के 2 घंटे कर दिया है 8 और 10 के बीच में. ये बहुत बड़ी हमारे लिए सफलता की बात है, लोगों के लिए भी. और दूसरी चीज़ ये कही है कि जो जितने बम बनते हैं, जो पटाखे बनते हैं, उसमें जो मटेरियल यूज़ होता है जैसे बेरियम, जैसे सल्फर, एल्युमिनियम, पोटेशियम, तो इसकी मात्रा उतनी रहेगी जितनी कि पैसों, एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है पैसों, उसका जो प्रिस्क्रिप्शन है यानी वो प्रिस्क्राइब करती है, उतनी मात्रा में वो गन पाउडर वगैरह डलेगा. उससे ज़्यादा डलेगा तो पुलिस एक्शन ले सकती है.
Court took great pains to point out that this is not about Diwali or one festival. It's about all festivals, marriage ceremonies, New Year's, everything. So anywhere where fireworks will be used, these regulations will be attracted, which the directions of the court which have come in. They have gone ahead to make e-commerce platforms personally liable if there are violations, as well as SHOs of police stations if they don't ensure that such sale does not take place or such bursting takes place, which is in violation of the court's directions.
The Supreme Court has directed the Rajasthan government to stop illegal mining in the Aravalli Hills within 48 hours. The court said illegal mining is continuing in a 115.34 hectare area in the region. A bench comprising Justices Madan Lokur and Deepak Gupta said Rajasthan was taking the issue very lightly, which has compelled the court to pass the order. The court also referred to a Central Committee report that 31 hills or hillocks vanished in the Aravallis. The apex court said the disappearance of hills could be a reason for the rise in pollution levels in Delhi. The bench also directed the Rajasthan Chief Secretary to file an affidavit on complying with its order. And the Supreme Court will hear on 13th November the petition seeking a review of the verdict allowing entry of women of all age groups into the Sabarimala temple in Kerala. A bench comprising Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi and Justice S.K. Kaul told lawyer Matthews J. Merenpada that it has already passed an order with regard to listing of petitions on 13th November. Earlier, the court had noted that there were in fact 19 review petitions pending in the matter filed by National Ayappa Devotees Association and others seeking a review of its verdict. A 5-judge constitution bench by a ratio of 4:1 had held that women of all age groups should be allowed entry into Kerala's Sabrimala temple. The temple closed yesterday after the 5-day monthly prayer. During the time, no women were allowed entry into the temple in the age group of 10 to 50. The temple will open once again on 17th November for a 3-month-long annual pilgrimage. The Delhi High Court directed the CBI to maintain status quo on the criminal proceedings initiated against its Special Director Rakesh Asthana. The court said the CBI cannot arrest Asthana till 29th October, but it also clarified there is no stay on the investigation considering the gravity of the case. The CBI described the charges against Asthana as serious and said it was still investigating the matter and could add more offences in the FIR. Meanwhile, Deputy Superintendent of Police Devendra Kumar, who was arrested on Monday in connection with bribery allegations involving Asthana, was sent to 7-day CBI custody for questioning. Normal life was disrupted in Assam as at least 46 organizations called for a 12-hour-long statewide bandh to protest against the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016. Protesters burnt tires on roads across the state to prevent movement of vehicular traffic. They also blocked rail tracks in a bid to prevent movement of trains. Shops, markets and financial institutions remain shut. However, buses of the state-run Assam State Transport Corporation plied with police escort. The protest is against the bill that amends the Citizenship Act 1955 to make illegal migrants who are Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis and Christians from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan eligible for citizenship.
अभी बंद हो रहा है तो जो सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट बिल लाया है 2016 सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट बिल लाया है ये अमेंडमेंट बिल असम का खिलाफ है क्योंकि ये सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट बिल 2016 लाने से ये बिल पास हो जाने से असम तक बांग्लादेश से कम 1 करोड़ 90 लाख हिंदू बंगाली लोग आ जाएगा। असम आप लोग जानते हो कि इतना माइग्रेटेड अफेक्टेड स्टेट है, इतना माइग्रेशन हो रहा है, इसका खिलाफ असम में बार-बार हम लोग आंदोलन कर रहा हूँ।
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that the purpose of science and technology should be to make common man live comfortably. He said this while addressing the maritime conference Sagar Discourse 2. The event was organized by the Forum for Integrated National Security in Goa. The Vice President also stressed on the need to update technical capabilities to ensure national security and said that security threats like cross-border terrorism, ecological vulnerability and environmental deterioration are not limited to one country and they require a united response from the global community. The Vice President cautioned the scientific community to beware of the threats to space systems from debris and other irresponsible activities. He warned that all nations need to be concerned with the pursuit of weapon systems capable of destroying satellites in orbit. The Vice President also said that India must intensify relations with traditional partners and establish new ties with other nations to promote peaceful use of outer space.
India as a responsible power has always collaborated with other nations on space issues. As such, the outer space environment is very complex with over 80 nations and the numerous government consortia, scientific and commercial firms accessing and operating satellites for countless economic, scientific, educational and social missions. At the same time, threat to space systems from debris and other irresponsible activities are adding to the complexity. We all need to be concerned with the pursuit of weapon systems capable of destroying satellites in orbit. Competitive approach and the important role played by the space technologies in improving economies and in providing national security have heightened international community's interest in space security.
And earlier in the day, the Vice President addressed the 13th convocation ceremony of the Jamia Hamdard University in Delhi. Giving away degrees to graduating students, the Vice President said, it is heartening to note that Hamdard currently has enrollment of almost 50% female students in its Hamdard programs. He added that educating girls of all sections of society has been an area of great priority for the current government. He also said it is a matter of great concern that in India, the average female literacy rate is 65.46%, while the world average female literacy rate is 79.7%. The Vice President underlined that like Swachh Bharat became a mass movement, empowering the girl child should also become one.
In majority of the universities, the gold medalists, 60% above are girl students. That's a very happy indicator. We have to make this as a mass movement. Sriman Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, Purva Pradhan Mantri, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan is started at that time. Now, successive governments also has encouraged it. Now the present Prime Minister has taken up this Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao and Beti Badhao. That's the campaign. I am sure it's catching up, it will catch up further because that is the future.
And time for a short break, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. If there's one sector in India that's witnessing constant growth in exports, it is the pharmaceutical sector. Every year, pharma exports are growing by 14 to 15%, and by the year 2020, they are expected to touch $20 billion. However, to regulate the quality and affordability of medicines, the Health Ministry is trying to increase the number of drug testing laboratories. It is also framing strict standards for online pharmacies. Let's take a look at the performance of the pharma sector.
India's pharma industry. China and African nations are hugely dependent on its high quality and affordable medicines. The Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission that sets standards for drugs manufactured in the country says pharmaceutical exports stand at 1 lakh crore rupees per year. This could go up to 1.5 lakh crore rupees or $20 billion by 2020. India is on its way to becoming the third largest country in the pharma sector. It currently produces 22% of the world's generic medicines.
India is known for producing high quality medicine at affordable price. उसमें एक और मोमेंटम मिलेगा और जो हम 1 लाख प्लस करोड़ के हैं वो कम से कम 1.5 लाख करोड़ की मार्केट को आने वाले 3 से 4 साल में प्राप्त करने की कोशिश करेंगे.
Online sale of drugs is a burning issue. Pharma associations and pharmacists are demanding a ban on such online pharmacies, but the government feels online sale of medicines offers convenience and all it needs is strict standards to prevent misuse.
हम लोग हमेशा ये कहते हैं कि जो टेक्नोलॉजी जो न्यू इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी है वो हमेशा यूज़ होनी चाहिए, लेकिन उसमें तभी होना चाहिए जब वो वैलिडेटेड हो जाए, प्रॉपर सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम डेवलप कर दिया जाए. हमारी जो CDSCO है, स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, अदर पर्सन वो डेवलप कर रहे हैं, रेगुलेशन नोटिफाइड हुआ है.
The Health Ministry is encouraging private laboratories to test the quality of medicines other than Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, which is an autonomous body under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. India has 3 private laboratories as per WHO standards. Panchanand Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Prizes were distributed for the 52nd Youth Parliament Competition 2017-18. The schools fall under the Directorate of Education, Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi and the New Delhi Municipal Corporation. The Parliamentary Affairs Ministry organized the Youth Parliament program that intends to familiarize students with Parliament procedures, discussion techniques, developing leadership qualities, self-discipline and tolerance of diverse opinions. Niti Aayog member Professor Ramesh Chand distributed the prizes to the students for their meritorious performance in the competition that was held during the academic year.
And Mr. Bhati and Mr. Ramesh Chand will be giving prizes to us, and he is having the state of MO.
I find that this kind of activities are steps toward inspiring our youth toward demographic dividend. By doing this debate, you develop a sort of respect for the institution, you develop a sort of inspiration to become a better citizen, to contribute in a better way to the nation build-up in future.
Amid mounting international pressure over the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi cabinet on Tuesday said the ruling establishment is concerned with the safety and security of all its citizens and will soon reveal the truth on the case. The meeting was chaired by Saudi Arabia's King Salman. Meanwhile, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan demanded strict punishment for people involved in the murder. In a speech to Parliament, Erdogan said the savage murder of Khashoggi was meticulously planned. He said the whereabouts of Khashoggi's body was still unknown and demanded that Saudi Arabia reveal the identity of the local cooperator who purportedly took the body away. In another related development, the United States sent CIA director to Turkey to review the Khashoggi case. Donald Trump on Monday had said he was not satisfied with the versions emerging about Khashoggi's death and believes his death was the result of a plot gone awry. Khashoggi was a US resident and prominent critic of the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He vanished during a visit to the Riyadh's consulate in Istanbul on 2nd of October. Khashoggi had gone to collect official documents ahead of his upcoming wedding. While Saudi Arabia said he died in a fist fight, Turkish officials claimed the 59-year-old journalist was killed by a 15-man Saudi team. Jamal Khashoggi was a US resident. He was a prominent critic of Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. He went to the Saudi consulate in Turkey, in fact in Istanbul, on the 2nd of October, from where he vanished. Today, the Turkish president informed Parliament that Khashoggi's murder was pre-planned and a 15-member Saudi team, in fact, was seen outside the Saudi consulate on the day of Khashoggi's murder. The United States, in fact, the US president has said he's not satisfied with the developments emerging out of Khashoggi's murder. The US has demanded clear-cut answers from its ally, Saudi Arabia. The United States has also sent CIA Director Gina Haspel to Istanbul to collect more information on Jamal Khashoggi's death. Today, Saudi Arabia's King Salman and also the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman met with family members of the slain journalist in Riyadh. The rulers met with Khashoggi's son Salah and brother Sahel at the Royal Palace. Media reports said King Salman and Prince Mohammed offered their condolences to the family. Khashoggi also was a Washington Post contributor and a known critic of the Crown Prince. He was killed after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on the 2nd of October. As we told you, he was a US resident and had lived in a self-imposed exile in Virginia since 2017, shortly after the powerful Prince Mohammed was appointed heir to the throne. His apparent murder, experts in fact say that his murder has badly tarnished the image of Mohammed bin Salman, who had earned himself a reputation of being the one who led the drive to modernize his country. The Saudi Arabian cabinet met today. The cabinet was chaired by King Salman. And Saudi Arabia has said that it will hold Jamal Khashoggi's killers to account no matter who they are. And amidst this crisis, a high-profile economic forum in Saudi Arabia began, the kingdom's first major event on the world stage since the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Several of the participants withdrew from the economic forum in the wake of Jamal Khashoggi's murder. Turkey has sought an independent probe into the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, who vanished outside the Saudi consulate on the 2nd of October. The Turkish president today addressed a press conference as well, where he claimed that a 15-member Saudi team was seen outside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on the day Jamal Khashoggi was murdered. And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thanks for your time.